say one thing. Welcome. Welcome to the Lions. I see my guy Alex. Alex, what was last night? We got to connect on a whole different game last night. We got to be in downtown Miami Brickell last night. Wasn't that an incredible scene? Wasn't that the ability to connect on a strip like Miami Avenue? I love Moxie's. Moxie's one of my favorite places, and just like the ability to connect and converse even before that epic talks. I'm gonna get into that. But I just want to say welcome. Welcome to all the Lions. I see Steven Alonso in the house, man. This is a mover and shaker, by the way. I'm telling you right now, Steven is a mover and shaker. Y'all don't know who he is. You should know who he is because he is a mover and a shaker. And I cannot wait to continue tonight's call because tonight's call is going to be very pinpointed to focusing on money movement, how to place it. And Steven knows exactly what it is. Lou, good to see you, man. My man. We here in Miami. We're in the territory, bro. I see Welbert coming in. Welbert, God bless. He's still alive, man. This man's house got struck by lightning. Like in Brazil, oh my Lord. So Welbert, thank you for being on the call, man. You're still alive. You're good. You're happy. You're healthy. I messaged you today. We had a conversation about that. But guys, we're going to tune in today because today's going to be an incredible day. Look, I've been in Miami for the last 48 hours. Miami energy is just so different. Miami energy is just a whole different vibe. Like I'm a Tampa guy and I'm a Canada guy. Like I'm born and raised in Canada, So when I first came out here, and I love living in Tampa, but Miami is just a whole different flavor of energy, momentum, investments, everything. But one thing is money. Money is moving. Money is moving quick. Money is moving fast, and it's actually so powerful what we are now sitting on. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But before I get into that, I am now in the background don't even make sense right now. Got my spotlights on me just to make sure that you guys can see me. But at the end of the day, I'm in Atlanta now. I'm in Georgia. Up in here. And I'll tell you, Georgia is a very interesting state. It's a very interesting state. Why I say that is because this weekend, we are now going to an incredible conference. Now, last night we were at a networking for the epic talks, specifically. Incredible elite individuals in downtown Miami that are really coming together to be able to be like, hey, by the way, you're doing 100 million. I'm doing 100 million. Let's connect. Let's do that. Incredible conversations. But flying out to Atlanta for this weekend was very interesting because this weekend is not just about connection anymore. See, last night was incredible connections. We got to meet millionaires. Alex, you remember last night when we went and met the guy with the $700,000 watch on? Like you just meet crazy people in Miami. 700,000. First of all, I walked out of Moxie's. Just a quick little story before I even get started. I walked out of Moxie's, right? I saw a Lamborghini with an incredible paint job, by the way. Incredible. It's like a diamond paint job. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, and then I look over and I see the guy that owns it and he goes like, and he just like tilts back on his seat. So the minute that he tilts back on his seat, I'm like, that's the guy that owns it. Okay, let's go have a conversation. So we connect with a couple of these guys, but regardless of even just the connection, the point was Miami is energy. It was incredible energy to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, the elite of the elite. And that's why we flew to Atlanta. We flew here because this weekend is a whole different change of pace. This weekend, we are going into faith-based entrepreneurship. This weekend, we are starting to understand the core momentum. See, I just want to welcome all the Lions on the call because what we do every single Thursday, gentlemen, every single Thursday at 8 p.m. EST is we come together, regardless of what time zone I am in, regardless of what country I'm in. We show up every single Thursday because of three simple words: Brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. The brotherhood is between the bond that we have as men. The only time you look down at a man is when you're picking him back up. The only thing that we can understand about blessings is that God has the power and has the plan for us. And if we can truly understand breakthroughs, wow, we'll be open to let our ego go so that we can understand. It may be something I say, it may be something another lion says, but we will make it, we will learn it, and we will live it. So today, I want to break this down. Because I'm here in Atlanta doing some incredible things at Create Now. This conference this weekend is going to be incredible because I'm supporting a good friend of mine that I saw 3 years ago start the #1 biggest conference for faith-based entrepreneurs. This weekend, we're going to be connecting with John Maxwell, Gary Brecka, big names. And this man was able to have the perseverance and be able to show up as many times as he did to be able to do what he's doing this weekend, which I'm excited for. Well, when I start to think about religion and I start to think about faith and I start to think about understanding, faith leads me to understand what is power. What is the power that we have as men? How do we control our power? And most importantly, how do we position it? How do we position what we have in front of us, power-wise, but also financially? Like, how do we stick to the way that we know of understanding how to sell products and services? Yes, sure. And you're going to hear about that later tonight. But more importantly, shift our mindset to understanding that power becomes momentum. Momentum is velocity. Now we start to go like this. Now we start to, the minute that I get 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, now all of a sudden, boom. Drew knows exactly what momentum is. Drew knows exactly what momentum is. He started off selling 1 truck. Just 1 truck. He's like, hey. And now look where he is. And if Drew's going to chime in, good to see you, Drew, by the way. I just wanted to call you up, man. Respect and love, bro. It's good to see you. But that kind of mentality and mindset is what it takes to become successful. But today, we're going to go a little bit more deeper. I want to give you guys some analytical perspective. An analytical perspective of something that's going to blow your mind. And I'm not going to be the one to do it. That's the most magical part. Get ready for it. Today, I was listening to something. It was like Bruce Lee. I think it was Bruce Lee that said it. He said, you know, you have to be like water. You got to be like water. Like if you fill a cup up, the water becomes the cup. You know, if it's a pool, the water becomes the pool. You have to flow with the adaptation to change, because Charles Darwin said it himself. He said it's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent ones. It's the ones that are most adaptable to change. So when we can take that ideology and we can take that philosophy and we can really apply it to today's generation, it's like, dude, last week we talked about cutting 80% of everything. I cut fucking 80% of my entire business. I cut 80% of my staff. I cut 80% of everything that I could see, because the Pareto's principle of 80-20 allowed me to understand that 80% of my outcome is coming from 20% of my efforts. Why am I sitting here trying to do this day to day? Why am I trying to chase one person at a time? Instead, it could be one business at a time. It could be the greatest wealth transfer that's happening in today's generation. This one thing, the last time this happened was 99 .com bubble. The last time this happened created millionaires on a different scale, because 99 to the 2000, we were all scared of it. For us generational ones, I'll tell you right now, we knew what millennial means. Okay, not millennial like the little kids that are running around. No. Like we knew what the millennium. 2000. Ooh. 2000 changed the whole trajectory of the life. It changed the trajectory of business. It changed the trajectory of the stock market. It changed the trajectory of placing your money in the right position to be able to gain the results that you deserve. And the same thing is happening now, and it probably will be the last time we see it. I'll tell you. So, like, going back to Bruce Lee, like, I just feel like I got to be water. I got to adapt. So that's why I cut everything. This last week, I'll tell you right now, money has been my only focus. Money has been my only focus. And why I say money is because we have money. We got positioning. You can place your money into real estate. Yes. Real estate is going to be the most tangible asset. It's going to be the most, just structured place to put it in so that you can go and touch the building, because I've done that for 10 years. I've been a commercial real estate developer for 10 years. I've understood real estate. And that's always a good place to place it. The second one, though, is the stocks. And I'm not talking about Apple. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about the ones that everyone's telling you how to get rich quick on. I'm talking about, like, look, if Apple became successful, right? You're going to hear this later on. If Apple became successful, guess what happens? There was a company on the side that provided chips, that provided hardware to Apple for them to create an iPhone and go sell it. So should we be involved in trying to just jump on the fucking bandwagon of Apple? Or should we start to look now into the other companies around us that are actually allowing us to understand, oh shit, they're just providing us just a simple part. A simple part. So this company right here is only worth $1 versus the company that's worth $100. Because $100, it takes a lot of money to get that. It takes a lot of money to make money from that. I got to get $100 to $1,000, and that's a 10x return. But 1 to 100 is a different exchange. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I cannot wait, by the way. You guys are going to be so excited about this, because I don't ever do this. But it's been a crazy week, and I've been here in Atlanta now. Just to give you some real life. First of all, I just miss my woman. She's been gone for like 3, 4, 5 days. I'm missing her more than anything. I'm sitting here, I'm waking up, I'm like, I was at an incredible networking event, Alex, that. We were chilling out, we're doing our thing, but I was just like emotional. I was like, but emotions as a man is something that we don't understand what to do with. See, when we feel emotional as men, guess what happens? We do what? Bottle it, shut the fuck up, rub some dirt in it, and keep going. That's a wrong mindset. If we can reverse engineer that and understand that we are emotional men, that's okay. It's okay to be emotional, gentlemen. It is honestly fully okay to be emotional. But how do you be calculated with it too? How do you actually express yourself in the right way as the lion that you deserve to be, so that you can position correctly? Now, that could be on an emotional state, which I'm talking about, but it can also be on a financial state. The financial state is like, how do I make more money? How do I actually accelerate? How do I take $100,000 and actually do something with it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because I'll tell you guys, regardless of the luxury, like I'm telling you, even these watches, like luxuries, like this is a $60,000 watch that's on my wrist right now. It's not about the $60,000 fucking watch anymore. What it is about understanding how to position capital, how to understand maneuvering. Hey, I got this. How much capital? I texted you guys today. I said to you guys, how much liquid capital do you have? What are you willing to invest in? What something could change the trajectory of your life? $1,000 investment could turn into millions. Yes. But I'm not here to sell you that. I'm here to educate and inform you. And that's why you're going to love what's going to come up. Because today is going to be a whole different vibe, because I'll tell you right now, today's going to be different. Shut down to focus. We have so much fucking noise barking at us, barking. Always this side. Oh shit. I need to just shut the fuck. It's not even the noise. I need to personally shut up. I personally need to just take some time by myself. How many men on the call right now are like, dude, I wish I could just have 24 hours just for fucking sanity. Like to tell the whole world to fuck off. Like Drew's like, dude, boom. Like I just want one day, man. Hands up. One day, 24 hours, 12 hours could change the trajectory of your life if you understand how to focus on it. So that's why this week was not about me anymore. Last week, you know what I talked about? Last week, I said, you got to cut it all out. You know what we did last week? We cut everything. I went to my team. I was like, by the way, 4 of you are getting, unfortunately, let go. I'm sorry. The ones that can retain, great. But guess what? If you are not focused on 20% of what's actually going to generate the income, generate the mentality, generate the mindset, it doesn't make sense. AI can fucking replace this shit. AI is complete. Generative AI was a revolution. Agentic AI is going to not only just be a revolution, it's going to almost cut like 70% of jobs in the world. DeepSeek came out. China broke the freaking market. Whoa. What happened? How do we wake up in the morning? The market just falls out. Ooh. We got some interesting things that are happening. We got geopolitical situations. We got Trump coming in right now. We see the shift and the wave. And it's like, how do you be ahead of that? How do you be the best of that? Now, one thing I want to point out specifically is loyalty. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Now, I got 2 guys on the call right now, like my guy JC and my guy Welbert. And, Drew, I'm going to bring you in as well. D, I'm going to bring you in as well. Julian, I'm going to bring you in as well. Mr. Brown, I'm going to bring you in as well, too. Loyalty means sticking to the course, spending the time to stay consistent versus this get rich quick. Oh, I'm excited. I watched this crazy VSL and he's telling me all about this. Don't worry about it. JC and I were talking earlier about this actually. He was like, Jay, I found this crazy thing. He's like, boom, these stocks are gonna go crazy, and we gotta spend money into it. Like he's gonna break down to you guys. Because he's not just I gave him a mission for a week. Last week, I told you guys to cut 80% of fucking everything you're doing. I'm going to prove it to you on this call by giving the ability to one of my employees, one of my right-hand mans, my man JC, that actually was able to position within 7 days, and he'll be the proof of the pudding. Look, hands up. But before I get there though, market trends, guys. This is the biggest wealth transfer that's happening right now. This is the biggest wealth transfer. Money is moving in hands. I have business owners that are selling their companies. The baby boomers are like, dude, I got a $3 million company. I got a $10 million company. I need to exit. I'm 70 years old. Like, I'm not giving it to my kids, but I need somebody to buy it that's actually going to handle it. So guess what? What do we do? Okay, $10 million valuation. Perfect. 3 million. Perfect. How do we raise capital? Steven knows all about raising capital. He does that. That's what he does. Raising capital is just the understanding of being able to communicate an offer and a deal. Like we know this with Grant Cardone, 10X, everything like that. Like sell, 10X, XXX, let's go. But guess what? If we were to reverse that and understand one simple thing, it's just sales. It is just sales. It is sales to understand how to take a product. What if your product is money? Like Drew, your product has been a beautiful truck, a Freightliner, man. Like this guy is the Freightliner guy, man. But if we were to reverse that, what pays for that? Money. So if you can get into the game of money, guess what happens? You start to raise capital, you start to position capital, and you actually don't need much in yourself. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, I got $0 in my bank account, that's okay. If you're sitting there saying $100,000 in my bank account, guess what? We need to have a chat. And if you have over 1 million, you should already be positioning that, and you shouldn't even be thinking about what you should be doing. You should have the right consultants and people in place to position correctly and do what you need to do best. But tonight, I'm going to show you guys in a whole different aspect of what leadership is. See, leadership is me being able to preach and teach. I come here every single Thursday and I show up and I give as much value as I possibly can for y'all to understand not only my expertise, but the steps to take to be the fucking fiercest lion that you deserve to fucking be, the king that you know you are. But today I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Today I'm going to throw it off to someone else. Today I'm going to put somebody on the spot. Today I'm going to get you guys to understand one simple thing. I'm going to call you an employee, but he's not an employee. He's my right hand. He's my brother. Okay. He's been working for me for about a year now. He is my right hand. He's my heart. Like just my guy. He's been respecting me and loving me even the last 48 hours. He's done incredible. But I want to give you guys the understanding to see how I taught him in 7 days. In 7 days, I positioned him in a different way. I told you guys 80% I'm cutting out. I wasn't lying last week. I don't fucking lie. But last week, I told you I was cutting 80%. And I said, you know what, JC? Restructure. He's like, Jay, let's go. What's up? And I was like, you're going to research this and you're going to focus on this. So today, I'm going to give you guys some insights, not through me, but through someone that I was able to not only respect and love, but somebody that took a week to analyze with my guidance to understand where the markets are at. Does that make sense? Everybody okay with that? One component that made the biggest difference in that conversation was one thing I said to everybody. Like, dude, we got toys, we got watches, we got cars, we got clothes, we got everything. But what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? Like, how do you want to live your life? Not only live your life, how do you want to lead your life? And then, of course, how do you want to leave a legacy? All of them were like, whoa. The man's wearing a $750,000 watch on his wrist, okay? Mine's only $70,000, okay? So I'm not at like no $750,000 on my wrist right now. His watch was worth more than the Lamborghini that we were looking at. Like, I want you to understand the perspective of this. And in that moment, it's about understanding one simple thing. Capital is available. Capital is available and readily available, especially with the biggest wealth transfer that's happening right now. If we stop and focus on just like, I got to build my business, I got to 9 to 5 kind of thing. It's my business, but like, you know, at the end of the day, it's double the hours and half the pay. It's called being an entrepreneur, right? Double the hours, half the pay. Shit. Life didn't really work out the way that I thought it would be, but I'm going to keep pushing forward because one day, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to make more and I'm going to do more. But you're missing an opportunity because you're fucking sheep thinking that way. Sheep mindset is now thinking about going like, I can do it. I can make it. I can build it. I can create it. The lion mindset though is like, whoa, 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 whoa. I got to stop everything. That's why from last week, I just like completely shut everything down. 80%, my whole team was like, okay, like half of them were like, shit, we're getting fired. And I was like, dude, your AI, the AI can already replace you. By the way, agentic AI is going to take your job anyways. Might as well just like let you have 6 months to be able to breathe and be able to figure out the next steps. But more importantly, we start to understand, look, why don't we just shift focus on understanding markets? Why don't we understand what Elon Musk is doing, what Trump is doing? Why don't we understand and listen to the tweets? Why don't we put little calendar blocks where all we do is just research? We just research instead of thinking that we have to do an income producing activity. We have to create content. We got to do the next step. Now, I acknowledge I'm 2 minutes over right now, but I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute of value right here before I close this down. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this week's intention is for you gentlemen to walk into your week to shut the fuck up. Stop thinking what you know is right and start opening up your mind, because I did that in 1 week. I positioned my team. That's why I didn't talk. That's why I let JC do the talking. Because I knew what he had experienced. I knew what he had learned within 7 days of repositioning somebody that's dedicated to my craft. He's dedicated to the business. He gets paid for his time. So as a leader, as an employer, I have to now figure out what's the best use of my team's time and who can I eliminate, because I don't need it. And the funniest video we had last night, actually, funny enough, was leaving Epic Talks. So we finished this incredible meeting, the whole conference. We learned about trust. We learned about how to setting up a trust, how to set up a holdings company, how to set up an operating company. And we learned from somebody that's doing some incredible, Edward Collins, incredible stuff. So I walk out of that place and I'm having a conversation. All of a sudden, the fucking robot is walking at me. It's a cleaning robot. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, mid-conference, I'm going to send you guys all this video. The robots, I was like, oh shit. And I started positioning myself around it. And I put my arm around it. I put my arm around the robot. It's like my girl. God bless, because she's up in Canada right now. She flew away. So maybe I'm a little lonely. Maybe. But I put my arm around the robot. I was like, hey. But I started to think about that. And I was like, damn, my parents, when they first moved to Canada, used to clean these floors and these toilets in this airport. And now there's a robot doing it. Interesting. See, my dad was able to come as a cleaner, and then he was able to become a taxi driver, and then he was able to start his own Indian grocery store business. Yes, entrepreneurship, but he has to stand there every single day. Every single day he shows up. Even right now, it's 9 o'clock right now. It's 7 o'clock there. He's still there. You can call 403-590-5544. You can call him right now. He'll answer. And when I started to understand that perspective, it made me realize, look, technology is taking over. We got artificial intelligence, not even artificial intelligence. We have artificial super intelligence coming in. You got China competing with US right now. You have this whole geopolitical game warfare. Why are we sitting here trying to sell products and services to each other? Why am I saying, hey, Drew, by the way, I got a new product. Let's transact your credit card. Instead of giving you the equipped knowledge to be able to position the $1,000, $10,000 that you may have accessible to position that right for their future. So Lions, today has been a whole different game. Today is a whole different trajectory. Today, we are now flipping the script, because I'm tired of just jumping on these calls and preaching. I'm tired of just giving knowledge over and over and over again. It's time to give more tactful information. So I can have a guy like Lou and a guy like Welber and a guy like Keyshawn that's going to go invest $1,000. And then in 12 months, he's going to be like, Jay, that $1,000 made me like 2.1 million. I'm like, great. And let's go. That's lion fucking energy. Don't expect it to happen overnight, but understand when you're right with the right group of people, we're going to have courageous conversations, just like this one. So are you willing to have that courageous conversation? Is what JC said. So book a call, sure. But regardless of booking a call, most of our time is even just not even worth it anymore. So position yourself correctly. Be on a call like tonight. Take the effort and time to understand how you want to be involved with what we are doing, but also not just us, the market. You better be equipped. You better be getting your own knowledge in. This ain't just a fucking sales pitch. I'm tired of fucking sales pitches. That's why I get so aggressive about it right now. That's why my swearing is coming out, because I'm tired of sales pitches all the time. I'm now focused on helping and equipping you to make millions. millions and if not billions for those bold. There's only going to be 1% of this crew. I think it's going to be Mr. Brown, but that's just my we're gonna throw him. There's millions and billions, and there's also trillions too, because we're starting to talk about that language. But always remember one thing: the law of averages is one thing. I may have given you guys the knowledge and the expertise, but at the end of the day, it's so sad that only 1 to 10% is actually going to understand what I just said, what JC said. That's why showing up on a call consistently helps you build repetition and routine. Repetition and routine. So Lions, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being here on the call tonight. Thank you for experimenting this whole different energy that we have. I want to say thank you to JC for showing up in the way that he did. I want to thank every man on this call tonight and all the men that are going to be watching this call in the recording, especially those that are watching the recording. You missed out a crazy live call because, again, this is an opportunity for y'all to ask questions. Don't just listen. Use this as a platform for you to roar, to not only understand the man that you are, the lion that needs to roar, but the king that you deserve. So, gentlemen, God bless. I will see y'all next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. as we do. God bless. Take care.